us. You were supposed to go to the Yankee game today. Is that happening?
No, it's probably not happening today. I don't know if they're actually going to have it going on. It's opening day. It's a little dicey. It's supposed to snow till noon.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen. Although the last time it snowed on opening day was '96.
Oh, what happened that year?
And they went on to
There you go. So
what
who
an
knows?
awesome random stat. I like that one. Good to see you, brother.
I saw it on one of the promos on FS1 in between the breaks.
Oh, okay. There you go. Good job,
Can I get one for teeing him up? I teed him up, so I just a high five or
hearty handshake.
that was the worst.
Okay.
That was the worst.
You know what, Jenna? You take something and just have the ability to make it so awkward sometimes.
Oh my God! Thank you so much.
No problem.
2 months ago, the Patriots lost the Super Bowl. Less than 5 minutes after that, Chtis Canty focus turned to next season. That's the Patriot way. That's the Belichick way. All business. But it has seemed to rub some the wrong way, including Rob Gronkowski, who's reportedly decided to come back to the team next season on one condition: Tom Brady stays. And it's been leaked he's not thrilled with Belichick either. All right, Chris, what was your reaction to this story?
Well, listening to it, it sounds like Rob Gronkowski believes Tom Brady has a little more authority than what Bill Belichick wants his players to have. And I think we have some evidence that that's true, because otherwise Jimmy Garoppolo would still be a New England Patriot. So I think that Rob is recognizing that, listen, Belichick makes some questionable decisions, and it's hard to get on board with everything that he does, especially with the Malcolm Butler decision that they made during the Super Bowl. But that being said, since Rob Gronkowski has come into the league in 2010, they've been in the playoffs every single year.
Yeah.
He's played in 4 Super Bowls. He's won 2 of them. So, in part, Bill Belichick's asked his players to do certain things and to buy into exactly what he's saying for a reason, to be able to have that level of sustainable success. Right? Coaching is making men do what they don't want to do so they can become what they want to become. Tom Coughlin used to preach that to us all the time, and Bill Belichick is a great example of that. Don't like the decision that he made in the Super Bowl of benching Malcolm Butler, but you can't argue with the results that he's had since he's been head coach of that team in 2000.
Question for you, Chris. Do you think if they win that Super Bowl, you think Rob Gronkowski walks away from the game? With 3 Super Bowl championships, you think he walks away from the game?
No, you listen, CC, you try to squeeze as much toothpaste out the tube as possible. And Rob Gronkowski is still an elite level tight end. There's no way he can walk away from the opportunity to continue to make a lot of money playing football. That WWE stuff and acting, that'll be there when he walks away from football. He has he has the rest of his life for that. But you got to make as much money as you can playing football right now.
I think, given his tweet to Danny Amendola, congratulating him, but also saying, what was it, you're free? Or
you're happy and you're free.
You're happy and you're free. I think these reports coming out, I think we do have to look at this from a slightly different angle, which is not just, will Rob Gronkowski return to the Patriots? But if when the season starts, will Rob Gronkowski be a Patriot? We have seen Belichick trade players of his caliber. People forget the year they traded Moss after 4 games. He was coming off 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. But he got a little sideways with the program.
Asked for that contract extension.
Asked for that contract extension. All of a sudden, we'll send you back to Minnesota. We have seen them trade Lawyer Malloy days before, cut Lawyer Malloy days before the year. We have seen them trade Jamie Collins. We've seen them trade Chandler Jones, who went on to lead the top 3 in the NFL in sacks since he left New England. Like, we don't have a lot of precedent of guys making this type of noise and Belichick just simply bringing them back into the fold. We were talking before the show, CC, about when the Giants brought up Beckham may be available for 2 first-rounders. I was asking the question, man, what NFL player isn't available for 2 first-rounders other than quarterbacks? Like, what players have more draft or more trade value right now other than quarterbacks than Rob Gronkowski? There's 10, 15 of them, maybe 20 if you want to say because of the injury history. But could you get a first-round pick for Rob Gronkowski? Absolutely. You get a first-round pick for Rob Gronkowski. Like, so I'm glad that Gronk has decided, yeah, I want to come back. But I wouldn't put it past New England to make a major move here, given what their history says, which is there are no sacred cows on this team at all.
There are no sacred cows, but they do have the Patriot way, and they also have what they allow Gronk to do. And those aren't the same things. Now with these things coming out as far as report that Gronk's not happy, not surprised at all. I know a lot of people that have played for Belichick, played for New England, or played for Belichick other places, being the Giants when he was D coordinator, or in Cleveland. this guy is not a walking bunch of fun. I mean, he is not. Like, you are not going to, if you're going to a party, you're not taking him. All right? He is not that kind of person. But as a football coach, I got a great deal of respect for what he does, what he can get accomplished, and how he develops players. No one prepares better than him. But is it a system that everyone can play in? Obviously not. Gronk has been a very odd character playing there in New England, because we know what type of personality he has, and he's been kind of confined playing there in New England. Now that he's talking about he's not happy, I'm just wondering how far he gets off the Patriot way this year. Like, we've seen him get off the Patriot way a little bit, but now he's talking about potentially retiring. Does that allow him a little more wiggle room as he tries to play out, look, these next couple years there with the Patriots?
Chris, I feel like you can't knock the Patriot way because of how successful it's been. Yes, it's not that fun, if you will, whatever that means, to play New England, but they win, right? Maybe it's not that fun that you have to control your social media a little bit, you have to play within the confines of what Belichick wants, but you win. You know going into it, their standard is very high because they expect a lot out of you. I don't have as big of an issue with that as you guys seem to have.
Well, Jenna, winning is fun. So every player that plays in the NFL, if you have an opportunity to win, if you have an opportunity to go to a place that has a culture where they're consistently in the postseason, then you want to try to go to that situation and take advantage of it, especially as you get later in your career, right? But when you look at Rob Gronkowski and you understand the dynamics of what's going on in New England and Robert Kraft and the hierarchy with Bill Belichick, for one of the first times in the history of that organization, with the three men in power there, that being Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, we saw a little bit of a kink in the armor when that Jimmy Garoppolo trade happened. That was Tom Brady circumventing Bill Belichick and what he wanted for the future of that franchise by or basically mandating that he trade him to the San Francisco 49ers and get him off the roster. That was Tom Brady being involved in that decision. So I think we're starting to see some of those things when we start referring to the Patriot way change just a little bit, because the end of that dynasty is probably getting a little bit closer.
The work that you have to do as a professional athlete, some of it is very tedious, and it's hard to do for a long period of time. It's hard to train the way that you need to train. It's hard to stay focused the way you need to. But, Jen, I ask you this question. You've had a lot of jobs in television. Do you enjoy the job you have now?
Very much so.
Do you feel like they support you the way?
Very much so.
Do you feel like, you and I have had this conversation, do you feel like you're having more fun than any other point in your career?
Very much so.
Because that's important to you. Because at different stages, the ability to have fun and do your job, they don't. Why do they have to be absent of each other? In New England, you are not going to, because it is not the kind of atmosphere that is going to deem you to have a lot of fun. Now, for me, being able to play football is one thing, but being able to maximize the economic portion of it, too. You are not going to get rich playing for New England. Like, they're only going to pay a few guys. And when your contract comes up, like, you are disposable.
And even Gronk's contract is, he has to stay healthy, play great to get paid the way he should. Now, I know some audience members might be saying, that's how everyone's contract should be. Fair enough, but that's not how everyone's contract is. Like, if Gronk were to get injured in week 1 this upcoming year and not reach any of his incentives, he's down near the middle, right below the middle for average paid tight ends. That's not usually how it works for guys of his skill level. When we talk, what Gronk doesn't know what it's like is how awful losing is, right? So all he's experienced is winning. So then he looks at the team that beat him, Philadelphia, the team that almost beat him, Jacksonville, and he's, I think, probably justifiably thinking, hold up, those teams are as good or better than us, and they're having fun.
Let them win for a consistent period of time, and then come back and say, they won the Super Bowl.
But why does Gronk care about what the history is? The here and now, right now, what Lane Johnson said is real. We're having fun, and we're...
I'm going to say, because I've done this before, and I got a lot of respect for his career, a great two-way player, great Patriot. Troy Brown. Troy Brown won 3 Super Bowls. People ask me, would you rather be Troy Brown or be Chris Carter? I'd much rather be myself. I'd much rather have the career I had and not have no Super Bowls than him having 3. Because there is more to professional sports than just winning. And Tom Brady making half the amount that Kirk Cousins is making, now how much winning is that paying out for him?
But that's what he wants to do, because he could go make that money.
No, that's not what he wants to do. That's what he's being forced to do, Jenna. Tom Brady thinks he should be the highest paid quarterback. But he's giving them a hometown discount because Belichick got his thumb on him, realizing that's what you're going to play for. That is not Tom Brady's concept of financially is taking a hometown discount. That's what was presented to him. All right? This is your best option to be able to play a long time. Now, Kirk Cousins is making half of that. Now, you make sense of
double.
Okay, double that. So you make sense of that. How many Super Bowl rings is that worth? I mean, at the end of the day, making money is important to people.
All right, Chris, making money is important.
Go make some more.
Okay?
I got to go make some more.
Regular job.
Money coming up.
Regular job.
Villanova
That's your
win its second
side
title in
gig.
3 years. Next on First Things First, Nova.